everybody. Thank you for coming. Would everybody please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Roll call, please, Nikki.
Mrs. Applebaum? Here. Mr. Applebaum? Mrs. Hopper?
Here.
Mr. Jacob?
Here.
Mrs. Noberman? Here. Dr. Ciratino?
Here.
Mrs. Feldman? Here.
This May board meeting is one of our favorites because we get to honor and recognize so many wonderful people. First, we're going to hear from Mimi Holder, who's a board member from the Parkway Alumni Association, with an update on the Granting Dreams program. In addition, we're honoring winners of the Martin Luther King Jr. Essay and Poster Contest. The Parkway NEA Scholarship winners, students selected as Missouri Scholars 100, and we're recognizing students who've been chosen for the 2014 Missouri Scholars Academy. We'll also recognize Maureen Dennis from our finance department. Please welcome Mimi Holder to the podium. Mimi serves as the PAA, Parkway Alumni Association Board, and is a social studies teacher at Southwest Middle School. On Monday, the Alumni Association recognized recipients of the Granting Dreams program. The Granting Dreams program, funded by the Alumni Association, is designed to turn dreams into realities for Parkway students who are eager to further their learning or explore new opportunities. Hi, Mimi.
Hello. Good evening to the Board of Education, Dr. Marty, Ms. Stover. Thank you for allowing us to speak with you this evening. Why am I proud to be a Parkway alumni? Well, the Alumni Association has been formed for 20 years now, which seems amazing. I'm proud to be a Parkway alumni because I'm able to encourage communication among alums and foster programs that serve and support the Parkway community. And my oh my, how we have grown. From 1959 to the present, from 1 high school to 5 high schools, from 1 graduating class to 201, from 80 graduates to 72,000 graduates. I'm proud to be a Parkway alumni in the summer because we connect and support reunion groups as they gather to share memories, get up to date with the latest happenings, and of course, network. I'm proud to be a Parkway alum in the fall. We visited each school staffs and talked about our employee giving program, sharing stories of students and staff and how many benefits they receive from our program. We hosted a luncheon for the first graduating class of Parkway right here at Central Middle, which was actually their high school. We celebrated our Parkway Day at the ballpark with our own retiree, Ruth Jones, throwing out the first pitch in front of 1,000 cheering Parkway fans, and that was extremely exciting as we all celebrated Parkway again. Please, by the way, join us on September 21st for our next Parkway Day at the ballpark, and you can get your tickets at parkwayalumni.org. Our newsletter went out and our new directory was published. We held our craft fair at North High this fall, our largest ever. And we received an extremely generous donation to the Granting Dreams program, $50,000, to start the Thomas Phelps Entrepreneurship Fund. And the first 2 grant awardees from that were awarded their grants here Monday night at the Granting Dreams ceremony. I'm proud to be a Parkway alumni in the winter as we completed and approved our 5-year strategic plan. The Hall of Fame nominations and Granting Dreams applications came in by the bucket loads. We did a lot of reading and a lot of ranking, but at the end, it was all very inspiring and fantastic. We went to the classrooms for our 198 students for their Granting Dream Awards at 26 of our schools and awarding these grants in front of their peers to push them further as well. We traversed the district to award the Albert Award winners and the Teachers of the Year. I'm glad to be a Parkway alumni in the spring as our Hall of Fame committee has convened and selected our next Hall of Fame inductees, which we will announce June 1st. We held another successful trivia night, sponsored Albert Award winners and Teacher of the Year awards at our wonderful appreciation evening. Our current newsletter is in the mail to our alums, keeping them updated as the ways they can stay connected to Parkway. And our Granting Dreams ceremony, which was held here just Monday night. The Granting Dreams program was created 18 years ago as a way to give back to the district in appreciation for our wonderful education that we received from the Parkway schools. We packed the house Monday night with 550 people celebrating 198 students as they received their grant awards. We were very pleased and honored as we had our Memorial Grant Fund families with us as they shook the hands and saw the glimmer of delight in these students' faces as they received their awards. As you said, Ms. Feldman, the Granting Dreams program is there to help grant dreams for students, making those dreams become a reality, whether it's a resource grant that we have an alum as a resource for a professional shadowing experience, or whether we have a monetary grant that we award these students so they can enhance their education or their talents through lessons or camps and experiences like that. Monday evening, we granted 198 of these at over $16,000. And after 18 years, we kind of have some great totals. We put up some numbers for you on the screen. I'm not sure if you have those in front of you. Year to date, 2,800 students have received Granting Dreams Awards at $241,775, which we're really excited because next year we're going to push it right over that $250,000 barrier. So we're really excited for that program. We're participating in the graduation rehearsals and ceremonies this month. We'll host the John Baker Memorial Jazz Concert, so please take a few minutes, come out, tap your feet, do a little dance on May 29th as we celebrate the jazz. We'll also be teeing off at the annual Parkway Golf Tournament June 13th. There's still space available, so please sign up. And as you can see, the Parkway Alumni Association is growing stronger every day. We thank the Parkway School District and the Board of Education for their continued support for all of our endeavors. Thank you, and have a nice evening.
Next, we want to recognize the winners of the Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Poster Contest and the Parkway NEA Scholarship winners. Please welcome Parkway NEA President Julie Pepper. PNEA President, sorry.
Good evening, President Feldman, Vice President Jacob, members of the board, Dr. Marty and Ms. Stover. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize and honor our scholarship recipients this evening. Each year, the PNEA gives out student scholarships to our high school students who will be pursuing a career in education. In addition to our student scholarships, we also have scholarships that are awarded for professional development to our teachers. This year, we have 4 student scholarships for $500. Please join me in recognizing the following future educators. Our first senior this year is Melanie Lawrence from North High. Melanie, if you want to join us up here. Melanie is planning on attending Missouri Baptist University and pursuing an early childhood education degree. She's setting the example now. Now everybody knows what to do. Our next senior is Jillian Music from South High. Jillian is planning on first attending Wildwood Community College. She's going to use her A+ scholarship as well as her PNEA scholarship, and she is going to be pursuing a degree in elementary education. Our next senior is Alyssa Paul from North High. Alyssa is planning to attend Southeast Missouri State and will pursue a degree in elementary education as well. Yeah. It's hard work. Our final senior tonight is Alexis Zimmerman. Alexis is from South High. Alexis is going to be attending University of Missouri-Columbia and pursuing a degree in elementary education. Next, I would like to recognize our Teacher Scholarship recipients. Our first scholarship is the Linda Favero Memorial Scholarship. Linda Favero was a beloved teacher at Mason Ridge who lost her battle with brain cancer in 2001. The PNEA established a scholarship in her memory the following spring and has continued to honor her each year by awarding a deserving teacher in Parkway a $500 scholarship in her name. This year's recipient of the Linda Favero Scholarship is Maddie Jarrell, a second grade teacher at Sorrento? Third grade teacher at Sorrento. That's close. What? Our next three scholarships we are awarding tonight are our three Vito Maniaci Professional Development Scholarships. Vito was a longtime member of the Parkway community, a Parkway parent, and a longtime advocate for public education. Vito served as the MNEA UNISERV Director for the Parkway School District for many years. Although Vito lost his battle with cancer last year, his spirit lives on, and we honor him by awarding 3 scholarships this year. The $500 scholarship winner is Claudia Enberg, a reading specialist at Wren Hollow. And we have 2 $250 scholarship winners. Our first is from Barrett's Elementary, Amanda Siegel, a second grade teacher. She's a teammate of Julie's. Our second $250 scholarship winner is from North High, Amy Gritch, a social studies teacher. We have a new scholarship this year, the Jowanda Bozeman Social Justice Scholarship. And this year, our recipient is Emily Jung, an ELA teacher from Central Middle. In addition to our scholarship recognitions, we're also here to recognize our 2014 winners of the Martin Luther King Essay Poster Contest. This year's theme is Celebrating the Dream 50 Years Later. Dr. King was a man with a dream, and he gave his life to make the dream come true for all. Although his life was cut short at the early age of 39, his legacy of hope and inspiration continues today. At this time, I'd like to introduce Phyllis Calvin Barnes, Chair of the PNEA Human Rights Committee, to present the awards this evening. And we're putting on the screen some of our poster winner pictures, which are adorable. Phyllis.
Thank you, Julie. Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone who helped to make this event possible and give a warm welcome to all of our students and their guests. Dr. King lived for less than 40 years, yet the impact of his efforts for a more just society continue to inspire us so many years after his death. When I was a child, my parents thought it was important for our family to travel to Washington, D.C. to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the March on Washington. Last year, I also had the privilege of attending the 50th anniversary of the 1963 March on Washington, where Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. It was such a moving experience to witness so many people from so many walks of life celebrating diversity and working towards social justice, similar to the way that we have been in our district. It made me very proud of our efforts. It warms my heart and speaks to the power of his dream to know that students are still learning about and sharing the impact of Dr. King's work. What a fitting tribute to his legacy. This year, for the first time, at least as long as I've been handling this contest, we've had over 200 entries from 9 schools around the district. I truly appreciate the continued support of this wonderful opportunity for Parkway students. We are pleased to be able to honor the students who created such inspirational words and images to support this year's theme, Celebrating the Dream 50 Years Later. The posters and essays that the students created are being shown on the screen, and students, would you please come forward as your name is called? Several of our district winners went on to win at the state level as well, and I will note any state level winners as the students are being recognized. So, I don't believe that they are here yet, but Zayden Reza from Shenandoah Valley was our first place winner in the K1 category, and Zayden was also the second place winner at the state level. Anna Lowry from Shenandoah Valley was our second place winner at the K1 category, and Anna was also a first place winner at the state level. Congratulations, Anna. Mia Carey from Shenandoah Valley was our third place district level winner, and Mia was also a state winner, and she took third place at the state level. Congratulations, Mia. Come on up. Rafa Reza was our first place tie at the second and third grade category. And again, I don't believe Rafa's family is here tonight. Rafa and Zayden are siblings, if you couldn't tell, so talent must run in their family. And so we'll move on to our other first place winner at the second and third grade category, Miss Gummy Reiser. I apologize. I forgot to mention that Gummy is a student at Mason Ridge. Our second place winner in the second and third grade category is Nora Rutkowski from Piermont. Nora was also a first place state winner in the second and third grade category. First place. Congratulations, Nora. I would just like to mention again, 200 entries from our district alone. So to place at the state level as well is really quite an honor for these young people who are representing us so well. Moving on to the fourth and fifth grade category. Sarah Joseph from Shenandoah Valley was our first place winner. Congratulations, Sarah. Nishida Conneru from McKelvey was our second place winner at the fourth and fifth grade category. Congratulations, Nishida. And Faith Woodall from McKelvey also was our third place winner. We'd also like to congratulate Miss Gabby Lunsford from South Meadow, who was our first place winner at the 6th through 8th category. Congratulations, Gabby. Congratulations to all of our winners. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the parents, family members, and staff members who are here in support of their students. Please stand and be recognized. Several PNEA members were so helpful with organizing the contest this year, as well as serving as judges. It's hard to recall those days now, but some of them, they came on very short notice due to all the snow days that we had way back in January and February. So I just would like to say thank you to Sarah Matta, Katie Nienhaus, Gail Kramer, Neil Daniels, Wendy Sortino, Kirsten Bell, Lainey Mitchell, Missy Courtney, Anna Hurlbert, and Donna Volk. Without them, none of this would be possible. A special thanks also goes to Kathy Kelly, the communications coordinator at the Administrative Center, and her team for preparing the certificates that the students receive and planning other details to make this evening special for everyone. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank our PNEA president, Julie Pepper, for her assistance and leadership with this project, as well as many others. Julie had big shoes to fill coming into this job, and she's done an amazing job of representing our teachers and our district in so many ways. So congratulations to you on your first year as it comes to a close and on a job well done. Thank you.
Now hello. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Denise Papillo, coordinator of, oh, hi, there you are, Gifted in Grants, to introduce our Missouri Scholars 100 2014 Academy 2014 winners. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mrs. Stover, Dr. Marty, and welcome, Mrs. Hopper. I am pleased to be here this evening to present to you a group of very distinguished and accomplished Parkway High School students. These students were chosen from a pool of literally thousands across Missouri to participate in the exclusive Missouri Scholars Academy. The Academy is a 3-week residential program held on the campus of the University of Missouri in Columbia. The application process for participating was rigorous and involved not only academic achievement, but leadership capacity and creative problem solving. Some of the characteristics the Academy looks for in their selection process are students who have intellectual curiosity, students with a broad range of interests, students with the ability to think analytically and conceptually, students who are self-starters and independent, students who are risk takers, honest and considerate of others, students with the ability to express him or herself orally in writing or in the arts, and finally, students who possess a sense of humor. These students are undoubtedly among the finest from Parkway School District. And now I'd like to have Delynn Stoneburner, our high school gifted specialist, come forward to introduce these stellar young scholars.
Good evening. Denise went through most of what the MSA requirements were, and it was a very long process, and came in bits and pieces. So in addition to thanking each of the children, there was lots of children that at the high schools that were nominated, but to complete the nomination process, we have 9 exemplary students that we'd like to recognize. From Central, we have Abigail Earns. We also have Also from Central, we have Jennifer Wayland. Our third student is Joshua Yang from Central High. From Parkway North High, we have Panashi Majachani. And from Parkway South, we have two. We have Christopher Mark. Also from South, we have Shane Blair. Congratulations, Mr. Blair. From Parkway West, we have three, beginning with Jordan Beveridge. Anthony Carroll. Our final candidate is Crystal Liu. In addition to introducing the students that were nominated, we'd like to thank all of the parents for putting up with the different scheduling also during the snow days this year. We had to make a few adjustments and rescheduling over the holiday break. And I am sure they had many nights where the students were writing multiple essays for this, and the time and energy they put in creating exemplary students and that have all the way up to their sophomore career, we think. So, to the parents, please stand.
Okay, we're gonna go back to just a minute. We've got a couple of other poster essay contest winners that have arrived, and we want to shake their hands. There must be something special going on in this family.
Thank you so much for this additional opportunity. Just wanted to take a moment to say congratulations to Zayden Reza. He's the first place winner in our kindergarten and first grade category, as well as a second place winner at the state level. And Zayden is the little brother of Rafa, who not only is the first place winner as well as Gummy at the second and third grade level, she is a third place state level winner this year. And if she looks familiar, it's because she was also a district level winner last year. So I have a feeling this may not be the last that we see of these two. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to invite forward Desi Kirchhofer, our Deputy Superintendent, and he's going to introduce the 4 students who were named to the Missouri Scholars 100.
Thank you, President Feldman, Board of Education members, Dr. Marty. The Missouri Scholars 100 is a statewide program that honors 100 of Missouri's top academic students in the graduating class of 2014. The Missouri Scholars 100 program is sponsored by the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals. Schools across Missouri were invited to nominate candidates for this statewide recognition. Each student nominated had to first meet the criteria of an academic decathlon, which included 10 events designed to assure the academic strength of the student. To meet the decathlon requirements, the students must have a minimum GPA of 3.75, a minimum ACT score of 29, or a minimum SAT score of 1900. Be ranked in the upper 10% of their class and have taken upper-level courses in mathematics, science, English, and foreign language. The student must also have excellent attendance, be an exemplary school citizen, and be involved in school activity programs. Tonight's 4 students who are Missouri Scholars 100, we have 2 from Central High. The first I'd like to call down Zachary Hyman. Zachary. Also from Central High, Elaine Reichert. Elaine. We also have 2 students from West High. The first, Thomas Christensen. Thomas. Also from West High, Laura Santangelo. Laura. Congratulations to all 4 of these students and their parents as well. Congratulations.
Stockwell, Parkway CFO, who's going to talk about Maureen Dennis.
Good evening. Maureen Dennis was hired into the Parkway Finance Department 28 years ago, and she served as the Director of Finance for most of that time. I've been very fortunate to work with Maureen for my entire tenure in Parkway. And back in 2001, I actually asked Maureen about an idea of possibly pulling together a comprehensive annual financial report and then submitting it to the Association of School Business Officials for a national reporting award. She actually really liked that idea and personally researched, did all of the work on it, and created Parkway's first comprehensive annual financial report for the 2001-2002 school year. We submitted that document and ultimately received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting Award from ASBO, and we've been fortunate enough to receive the same award every year since then. Maureen is responsible for creating this document, and she deserves recognition for all of the awards that it's earned, and we've now earned 12 in a row. Please, I also want to mention that she's also retiring from the school district at the end of July this year. Please join me in recognizing Maureen Dennis for many years of dedicated service to Parkway and for her professional expertise and efforts that have earned the district 12 consecutive Certificates of Excellence in Financial Reporting Awards. Congratulations, Maureen.
At this time, I'd like to say thank you to our extraordinary students, teachers, principals, and parents for joining us tonight. We're so glad that you all took the time out of your busy lives to be with us and let us recognize you for your outstanding work. Thank you, and we're going to take a brief break now. Good night.
Needs to be maintained. Be careful. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, the light the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, it didn't steal your laughter. Heartache came to visit me, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We will fight, not out of spite, 'cause someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there are shadows singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees. I will pray. I will get down on my knees. I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. We are never broken. God's eyes, God's hands, God's Turn to me with frozen lips. Your hands are icy cold. Your eyes burn bright against the frost-bit sky. You never seemed more lovely than you do tonight. Pale on the horizon, like leaves frozen in the snow. Our two shadows merge inseparably. But time stands still if it's pierced with cold. The more I live, the more I know. What's simple is true. I love There's a warmth in my heart. It haunts me when you're gone. Mend me to your side and never let go. So time knows nothing, will never grow cold. The more I know, what's simple is true. I love you. Twilight descends on our silhouette. How soon spring comes, how soon spring forgets. I wanna hold time, say it'll never begin. Old man, when to be afferent. Old man, when to be afferent. 'Cause the more I the more I know, what's simple is true. What's simple is true. I love you.
Oh, no, no. We're going to start back up. 4.0, additions, corrections, and modifications to the agenda. 4.01, addition to 10.02 personnel items. Resignation was submitted late. And 4.02, addition to consent items 10.33, approval of authorization for disposal of surplus property. Agenda item was submitted late. 5.0, citizen statements. I'm going to call your name as it was listed in order. Please state your name and your address for the record. Carl Dauble, thank you. Is this, we'd like to limit our citizen statements to about 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
I think we can do that.
Okay, and if you've got something in writing, please submit it to Mrs. Stover when you're.
There is a copy attached somewhere. Okay, he has it. This is sort of an impromptu thing that was thrown at me a couple days ago, and so I sat down in my machine and put them thoughts together. After being away from Missouri for many years, my wife and I moved to Chesterfield in 1988, just after the city was formed. At that point in time, I had retired from about 27 years in active duty as a colonel in the Army Medical Department. As background, I have a bachelor's in civil engineering, a master in public health, and a master's in systems management. Our youngest son went to Parkway West and graduated in 1990. You can tell that. We're proud of the Parkway District and the high-achieving students that graduate from the schools. In the fall of 2013, we became the host parents of a German exchange student enrolled in the Parkway District. Aaron is attending Parkway West as a sophomore. He is treated as a member of the family and shares in the benefits of living here. As a student, he benefits from the taxes we have paid over the years. We are happy to share that with him. In most cases, students go to school to be educated in many things that they need to know to be valuable members of our society. And it takes that education to do that. Some people fail to do that. However, foreign exchange students do not necessarily receive an education. They bring something different to the classroom in their school. They bring a real-life international perspective to the school and their schoolmates. This is a two-way exchange going on. They are international educators in a very special way. These exchange students take back home with them a first-class understanding of their life in the United States at all levels, family and nationally. Misconceptions about what people do in the United States are hopefully corrected. They are introduced to American citizenship and our way of government, our sense of freedom, and our pursuit of equality. They take a piece of us back home with them. Hopefully these students can become proponents of freedom wherever they live and travel. Having these exchange students attend our schools at benefit with extremely little fear or to be apprehensive about. In other words, I'm saying there's not a problem with taking them on. We proudly support their continued presence here. I want to also add that we have hosted a foreign exchange student from Germany at the college level in 2008 and 9. He attended the St. Louis Community College. And for that, I want to thank all of you for doing this sort of thing for the foreign exchange students. Thank you.
You will all receive a report in writing, an answer in writing from the school board. Next, I'd like to call Stephen Rutherford.
Good evening. My children attend, I'm sorry.
Your address.
Sure. Stephen Rutherford, 1929 Pine Run Drive, Chesterfield. I have 3 children at Highcroft Elementary, one at Central Middle, and one at Central High. We have, this year, we're currently hosting an exchange student from YFU from Korea. It's Won-Suk Han. And after many years of hosting Asian and Middle Eastern students, we decided to host a European student next year from Denmark. So we'll see how that goes next year, Tobias. But as most of you know, YFU is a 501c3 nonprofit that was started after World War II by Dr. Rachel Andreasen, who was nominated in 1973 for the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts in promoting citizen exchanges. And that is really why we do exchange students, not for diversity like so many people believe, but for diplomacy. And on that note, I'd like to present the school board. This is a certificate of recognition from the State Department, the State Department to Parkway Central High School. And this is actually for last year because the student my family hosted last year was a State Department scholarship winner from Jordan. And I apologize, I've been holding on to this for a year because I wasn't sure who to give it to, so I'll pass it along to you today. We have 6 YFU students at Parkway Schools, all of the high schools, and they're here tonight. I asked each of them to write a statement, but I know it's a long night, so I'm not going to ask each of them to speak. I will just have a couple of them talk. But I would encourage all of you to please send out to your networks and encourage Parkway families to consider hosting an exchange student. I know we still have 20 kids waiting to be placed with families who are coming in August, and I hope that you all consider hosting an exchange student as well. First off, I'd like to ask Aaron from Parkway West.
Your name and your address, please.
Right. My name is Aaron Fuchs, and I live at Willow Lake Court, 15022, Chesterfield. Yeah. My name is Aaron Fuchs, and I'm an exchange student from Germany. I'm 15 years old, and I was and still am for 2 more weeks a sophomore at Parkway West High. And yeah, I'm here because I want to thank you, and because during my school year I just felt really comfortable being a student, being a Longhorn at Parkway West High, just being part of the system and not being the foreign kid at the school. Yeah, every day my day just started in an awesome way because I don't know how it's at the other Parkway schools, but at our school principal, Dr. Mitchell, welcomes us every single morning in the parking lot, which is, no matter whether it's cold, hot, or wet outside, just an awesome way of showing respect and just being really nice. And I just really appreciated the school spirit at our school just because I played soccer and volleyball, and I just felt in an awesome way, and I just really enjoyed the amazing school spirit at our school, like at the pep rally or our school spirit day, just things that you don't have in Germany, that kind of school spirit. Also, another reason why I really felt comfortable at Parkway West High was our teachers. Most everyone in our classes was really friendly, open, helpful, and just joking, which just made me feel really comfortable and just created a really relaxed but productive atmosphere in class. Yeah, again, just wanted to say thank you for an amazing school year here.
Just real quickly, let me introduce everybody. This is Friedhof Henke from Parkway North, and his host mom, Ann Kusher. Tobias Israelson from Parkway North, from Denmark. Takumi Inuzuka from Japan, he goes to North. Rakuto Noda from South, he's from Japan. And Laura Rojas, she's a local student who won a YFU scholarship to live in Germany last year. She's now a senior at Parkway North. YFU awards $1.6 million every year to American high school students to go abroad, and we were so pleased that Laura won the CBYX scholarship. It's a scholarship that's funded by the governments of the U.S. and Germany.
Hi, come on up. Once again, your name and your address.
My name is Rakuto Noda, and I live in Pepperdine Code 1446, Bowling. Oh, thank you. Well, yep. Hi, my name is Rakuto Noda. My friends call me Rako. Yep. And I'm from Japan, and I'm going to Parkway South High School, and I'm a junior. And first, thank you all of you guys for accepting me to go to a great high school, Parkway South. And there, I met many good friends, and I met many good teachers. I like everything I can see there. Especially, the teachers are the best for me. They are really kind for me, and they are really friendly for me. They talk to me even though I didn't understand what they said. Yeah, actually, it's truth. And they listen to me, even though my English was really bad. You guys can tell. Okay, so I like every teacher who I met, and I like Miss Gejum is the best teacher for me. She's my English teacher, and her class is my most difficult class for me. And that's because I was not used to speak English, write English, read English, so so I usually go to her to get help at like art club, like after school. And she taught me how to read, she taught me how to write, and she didn't give up teaching me. So now I can write and I can read much better than I used to. I really appreciate her. And I also appreciate for you guys in Parkway South High School for giving me a lot of opportunities. So, and I am so glad to be the part of this, Parkway South High School and Parkway District, and so thank you very much.
I'd like to tell you that when I was a child, my family hosted an exchange student from Japan, who my family is still in touch with all these years later.
So my name is Tobias Stenka Israelson. I live on 12531 near Woodland Court. So my name is Tobias. I'm a foreign exchange student as well. I come from Denmark, and I'm currently attending Parkway North High as a senior. So I would like to thank the board for making this year possible for me. And yeah, thank you for allowing me to come, and thank you again for supporting young people in going abroad. That's really awesome. So one thing I really like about my school, Parkway North High, is sports. So where I come from, Denmark, sports aren't really that integrated into the everyday school life as it is here. So I played soccer last semester, and I really enjoyed it. And the sense of community and togetherness there is here, as Aaron said, school spirit, I mean, it doesn't really exist in the same way as it does here. It's really unique to be on a soccer team like that, and just, the school in general. So students at my school, they are truly proud of, coming from Parkway North High, and that is what I like about my school. Thank you again. That's all.
Laura? Are you going to speak? Are you going to say something?
Would you like me to? I can.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Laura Rojas. I live in 12723 Glenridge Drive. I'm actually from Colombia, so my native language is Spanish. Unfortunately, I don't have anything written. So I would first like to thank the board for allowing the exchange students to come into our district. It is because of them that I was very influenced positively in order to go to another country. I was originally wanting to go to Italy, but I actually met a German exchange student in my school that went about 3 years ago, and he said, "Hey, you really have to do this. It's one time in a life experience." And I said, "Okay, well, why not?" There wasn't really anything wrong with what I was having in the Parkway School District, and it is one thing, the spirit and a lot of the community and organizations that you have in school. They are very unique to this country, and I can speak for my own country. We don't have that either, and neither do they have that in Germany. I miss that very much, and I was really glad to be able to see the differences that the exchange students show us through what, mannerisms, what they think about our education, what they think about our culture, and I guess my own too. I am rather a mix of 3 cultures now, I believe, and it's very interesting to see that in the Parkway School District, because I've been to many other school districts. I play field hockey and lacrosse, and when I go play to their schools, I notice there's not that much of a diversity as there is in our own school, and I love it. I really do. So I think that with our exchange students, we can really get more diverse, and I love that. Thank you for that. You're welcome.
Thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to come talk to us. You'll all receive something in writing from us. Thank you. 6.0, call for executive session. There is none tonight. 7.0, approval of agenda, May 7th, 2014. May I please have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of Education?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. 8.0, resolutions. There are none tonight. 9.0, communications. 9.01, introduction of new administrators. I would like to call Dr. Lisa Meredith, there you go, to introduce Terry Martinez.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to be here this evening and introduce Terry. I am sure that Terry seems familiar to you, as Terry has been serving as an assistant principal at Parkway West since 2002. We are so excited that we will have Terry join our team as the next coordinator for fine arts. He will serve along with other coordinators on the related arts team. Terry graduated from Missouri State University, where he received both his bachelor's and his master's. He has served in multiple schools in the music arena as assistant band directors and band director. But as I got to know Terry more through the interview process, one of the things that really impressed me the most was his deep understanding of the rich traditions and customs within our fine arts program, but yet a vision of how to continue to make something that is already great even better. Terry talked about creating an environment that is committed to student learning and success, that would build on collaborations, collaborative relationships, and cultures that will be able to help sustain and within that, including a variety of stakeholders, students, faculty, administrators, parents, and community. And how do we bring all them together to bring it to be an integral part in taking our fine arts program to the next level? So great pleasure to welcome Terry Martinez to the TLA team.
Thank you. Obviously, that's my new team that I get to work with. And I've said this before, and I know they've all heard this, but I thought it was important for you to know this. 20-some years ago, when I graduated from Missouri State University, the very first job I interviewed for was for an assistant band director position at Parkway South High School. And although Parkway did not hire me, one of the people that I did talk to at the very end of my interview process was Doug Turpin, who at that time was the fine arts coordinator. And I remember leaving that interview to drive back down to Springfield thinking, there's a reason why Parkway music program at that time was so phenomenal, because they took the time to hire somebody to oversee the fine arts. And I had never even imagined in my wildest dreams that there would be a job similar to that. And so lo and behold, 20-some years later, here I am in that same position. And it's kind of come full circle, and it's kind of surreal. And I am really looking forward to working in this position. I'm looking forward to working with the fine arts staff that we do have here in Parkway. But most important, I'm especially excited and honored to be able to carry the torch of the fine arts program. Parkway is well known for its fine arts program nationwide, and I want that to continue. I want that to be a staple. And when other schools in the state, in the area, in the state, and in the nation talk about fine arts programs, I want them to continue to talk about Parkway. And I know that it's huge shoes to fill. I think Sandy and she and I, matter of fact, we were just talking, and I'm already overwhelmed with a lot of the information that she's going to be sharing with me. But nonetheless, I'm excited about that. And but I am also very thankful to Dr. Mitchell, Jerry Mitchell, and the staff at Parkway West. They have really helped prepare me for this next position. So what's exciting is I get to take my passion for fine arts and the administrative aspect, and I'm looking forward to working in this capacity for many years. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Meredith for the opportunity. So I look forward to working with you in the future.
And Terry made a nice segue there for us to thank Sandy Collins for her service as the Fine Arts Coordinator in Parkway. And so before I sit down, TLA has a few gifts for the Board of Education this evening. First, it's been a while since you've received a book, I believe. At least a month, right? Today was our final PLC late start day for the school year, and what a great journey the past several years of PLC work it has been. We are gearing up for the next year, and to do that, we are in deep planning for the PPLCI Institute. And so we wanted to share the book with you that the administrators and teacher leaders who will be joining us at PPLCI in the last week of May will be reading, so that you would have a copy of what they're reading and that you could read and join us for any of that you want. And then in addition, we do have a little science token for you. We had some coordinators who planned the STEM booth this past weekend at the Air Show. Estimates were over 70,000 people attended, and over 20,000 people came through the tent where we were set up with a STEM booth. And so you are getting a bookmark that all of the families who entered received. So the Parkway logo and the Parkway mission was distributed. And you also have a helicopter that you can do your own science experiments with to see how you can make it fly higher and lower. So now you need to put them away because no experimenting during meetings, right? Go ahead, try while I give you your book.
The Fair and Air Show. I don't know if any of you did, but I was, of course, ponytail, no makeup, and looking not so good. But I look up and I see Dr. Marty there, and I believe Jenny Prophet was there and Becky Litherland. And I was just, it was amazing, the people that were there and manning the booths, and they had all these fun activities, which I didn't get to do. I didn't take advantage of, although I'd love to figure this one out. But we do appreciate you guys being there, manning those booths. I know it was a beautiful weather day. Dr. Marty, don't you agree that was probably the best temperature day we've ever had? Packed. It was packed, so I can only imagine that you guys had lots of traffic of people going through, but it was amazing, and thank you so much for being there.
Those two women and many more, but those two in particular. Several months ago when we found out about this, and we weren't getting a lot of communication, but we did hear that a couple districts were going to be setting up a booth, and so I kind of pushed the issue a little bit, and so we got going. And our booth at that air show was really very busy because it was interactive, and so Becky and Jennifer created such an excitement. Children of all ages had the opportunity to make helicopters and to do all kinds of activities. While other schools or other organizations had STEM activities, ours were truly educational and interactive. And I just have to salute them, and also all the time that they both spent this weekend. They did not have a weekend. And they were there Friday as well, and then all weekend, and other people chipped in. So just thank you to those two in particular, and others who really helped out. Thank you so much, and Kim, thank you. And by the way, we made so many. You make these in your sleep. The look on children's face when it works was precious. Little children.
Thank you. Okay, stop playing with toys. We're going to invite Mark Stockwell to come back and introduce us to Brian Whittle.
It's going to be a challenging meeting for you.
Come on, children.
Hello again. A few minutes ago, we recognized Maureen Dennis as our current Director of Finance and congratulated her on her upcoming retirement. And now I have the privilege to introduce Mr. Brian Whittle, who will be following Maureen as our Director of Finance. He is a certified public accountant, and he brings with him 4 years of public accounting experience where he audited school districts. And for the past 6 years, he's been the Director of Finance, or the Finance Director for the City of Chesterfield. Brian has extensive government finance experience, and he has earned recognition through the Government Finance Officers Association for both his budgets and his financial reports. So please join me in welcoming Brian Whittle as our next Director of Finance.
Sorry, I'm not as good of a speaker as everyone else, but I'm very honored to be joining Parkway, and I know I have big shoes to fill in Maureen. I've met her a few times. I'm going to be happier. My son's actually at kindergarten at Shenandoah, so I know firsthand how great of a job everyone does here. I mean, the school's been through a lot, and it's been great. So,
With you. Next, 9.02, calendar of meetings. The annual Board of Education retreat is scheduled for Friday, May 30th from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturday, May 31st from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Administration Building. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education is scheduled for Wednesday, June 11th, 2014 at Central Middle School, and I'm going to say at 6 o'clock p.m. We're going to have a little change in our procedures going forward. We're going to open our meetings at 6 o'clock and call for a closed meeting, and then go into closed meeting, and then come back here and start the rest of our meeting at 7. So that doesn't mean that any of you who generally come to our meetings need to come any earlier than you usually do. But from now on, when we call for our meetings, we're going to call them at 6 o'clock. And one other thing I'd like to mention, I just said that we're having our Board of Education retreat, and in the spirit of fiduciary duty and frugality, I just want to make a note and let everybody know that the Board of Education takes our responsibility for saving the district money very seriously. And to that end, we hold our Board of Education retreat here at the Administration Building. So I know retreat might sound fancy, and it might give people ideas that we're out in Las Vegas having a grand old time, but trust me, we're in the boardroom in the Administration Building having just a fairly good time.
And many of these people will be with us at some point.
Okay, so I know we have some liaison reports, so who would like to begin? Kim, or you did yours?
I did mine. I went to the Fair and Air Show.
Right.
And did hands-on.
Yes, Sam.
Chris Jacob and I had a wonderful opportunity to meet with Dr. Chelsea Watson
We've been working with her as part of a subcommittee of the board. We volunteered to work with her because it's exciting to hear from her and all that's going on in student services throughout the entire district. But she had almost a 2-page list of things she wanted to talk about, and we appreciate that very, very, very much. And I'm just going to hit some highlights. She talked about the vision van that came to Parkway Schools and talked about flu clinics, staff wellness, and these are all services that are being provided that school districts often do not provide. And that is absolutely wonderful to provide services such as this. We talked about the social justice program at Hannah that's going very well. Training is taking place, and there's going to be some training again this summer. The character education committee curriculum itself is going extremely well. What's so wonderful about it is schools have the opportunity to develop their character education programs within parameters. And schools are taking this very, very seriously, and it's going very well throughout the district. And it's making a difference, I think, in terms of how children, how young adults, teens actually carry themselves, behave, and become wonderful models of character. We talked about the district counselor structure. We talked about centralized registration that's going very well at the ISC. And the counseling curriculum that is being worked on, I think, is very, very exciting. That counselors not only see students, which is absolutely important and wonderful, but they actually go into classrooms. And that will make a difference for all students. The Naviance program is going very well, and there will be continued training in that this summer. And I could go on and on, but I won't. But I just want to compliment Chelsea for the phenomenal work that she's doing, and how she juggles all that she's doing is incredible. And we're very proud of all you've achieved through working with everyone, because you can't do it alone, but you're such a leader and you're such a model, and people want to gravitate to the projects you're working on because they believe in you, and it's all worthwhile for children in this district. So thank you very much.
What a nice report. Tom, did you have something?
I was just saying, I know we all had a real good time at the Parkway
Appreciation
dinner. So that was I think most of you all were there too. So,
So hopefully you had a good time.
Yesterday, I had the wonderful experience of going to the wrap-up meeting for the Experiential Task Force Committee. Shout out to Jennifer Stanfill and Jeremy, who I know has already left, for putting together just a really wonderful group of meetings with a great diverse group of people who brought all sorts of different ideas to the table. And I know you guys have your work cut out for you going forward, but hopefully we've drawn a little bit of a map to give you direction in what the next steps are. And I think the board is really looking forward to hearing the report about the task force results at our upcoming retreat. So I know you guys have put in a tremendous amount of work on this, and I personally enjoyed it so much. I learned so much, and I see the passion in everybody's eyes as they work through all the questions that we have to answer. So I really enjoyed it. We were all kind of sad to say goodbye because we'd kind of bonded over it. So thank you guys for doing such a great job. Okay. Yes?
No, you go ahead. Well, I just want we had the opportunity, we being the district with Annie Dickerson being in Chesterfield, a member of the Chesterfield Leadership Chesterfield class, to host the class today. And I just wanted to compliment a number of our people who spoke, Eric Leaders and Will Rosa, talk a little bit about their efforts with energy and conservation. And then Jennifer Stanfill, again, was all-star, talking about the work she's doing. And I think the class really appreciated the changes. Our focus was really thinking about the ever-changing world. And I think the class really learned that Parkway is not sitting still. We're really thinking about the students and their future.
Yes, first I just want to welcome Brian and Terry to their new positions. And Terry, you'll really impress us in the board if you would play the William Tell Overture on a tuba. We would. I know Sandy would do it, but she's leaving. And we also had our wrap-up today for the Alternative Learning Subcommittee. and just a group of wonderful people that really took it seriously and trying to figure out what's the best things that we can do, what kind of recommendations should be made to improve what we're doing at Fern Ridge and maybe in some of our high schools too. I think one of the interesting things today was where we really tried. You may be aware that the State Education Commission, or the DESE, the Department of Secondary and Elementary Education, is going to grade our district differently in the future. They'll do it by building, so we could effectively have every building doing wonderfully, and then there might even be one that might be provisional or maybe even unaccredited. If that could actually happen, and that could affect our the honor that we get as a district of distinction. We could actually lose that because of that. That's still up in the air, and we don't know all the things that are coming out of our State Department on that, but we'll know pretty soon. So one of the interesting tasks today was try to figure out, well, should it be a school? Should it be a program? And what would that mean? And what would that look like? And it was just a very interesting conversation to try to have that, and people were very open to express their concerns and also what they thought was good about it. And so I think some very good things will come out of that, and we'll be better off because of it. And I congratulate all of the good people that came together, and I know today they finished up with some recommendations, and as a board we'll get to see those here pretty soon. But great work. Carter Snow was wonderful. It was like herding cats, and he did a great job of keeping us interested and moving things around, and really appreciate that committee and having a chance to sit out and see those people at work.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented in the May 7th, 2014 board materials?
So moved.
Second? Is there anything to be pulled to action or closed? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 7-0. 11.0 action items. 11.01 approval of 2014-2015 budget. Called down for the third time, Mr. Mark Stockwell.
Good evening again. Last meeting, April 23rd, I presented the preliminary 2014-15 operating budget for your review, and we actually didn't have any changes to that proposal between last meeting and this meeting. Generally speaking, it's a balanced budget moving forward. Revenues are expected to exceed expenditures by a small amount. We also expect our operating revenues and expenditures to be balanced over the remainder of the 5-year period. Operating revenues are projected to be up 1.32%. Expenditures are projected to increase 0.9%. And we are going to have a stable fund balance, but it will remain below our minimum reserve requirements unless we make additional adjustments. And I really hadn't planned on going into a major presentation because it's the same presentation you saw last meeting, but I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you may have, or you're welcome to go to the motion if you'd like.
It's more of a comment. I don't know if you watched Mrs. Yellen this morning as she sat in front of the committee and got grilled pretty harshly. And the main thing was they were trying to say that interest rates have to go up if you're going to keep inflation down. And that's probably going to happen sooner than later. Could even happen. We'll probably start seeing it next year. So I'm sure that Pam and Brian will have their hands full. And the good thing is we'll get more money. I'm sorry, Patty, Edborough. We'll get more money from the interest that we earn, but we'll have to be careful because always the other is a higher interest rate.
It is a two-edged sword. Our operating revenues will go up, but our debt service expenses will also increase.
Okay, any other questions? May I have, good job. May I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education approve the 2014-2015 expenditure budget as presented by the administration in the amount of $241,555,165 with $85,277,765 to be expended from the general fund, $137,914,989 from the special revenue fund, $3,281,825 from the Capital Projects Fund, and $15,080,586 from the Debt Service Fund.
So moved, and I would like to request a roll call vote.
Okay. Second? Okay. Can I have roll call, please?
Mrs. Applebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Applebaum?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacob?
Yes.
Mrs. Mogerman?
Yes.
Dr. Ciortino?
Yes.
Mrs. Feldman?
Yes, thank you. Motion carries 7-0. 11.02.
May I actually, real quickly,
Yeah.
I would like to just recognize some of the folks that put the budget together. Maureen
Okay.
Dennis, Director of Finance. Sue Reno's also here, our Supervisor of Finance. And then Joyce Piesold, my assistant. And these three individuals spent a lot of time pulling that document together, and I just wanted to make sure they were recognized. So.
Thank you. We all enjoyed reading it. You're taking us in the right direction. 11.02, approval of submission of November 2014 bond proposal. I'd like to call Paul Tandy down, Director of Communications, and Mark is the backup, I guess.
He's the brains behind the organization. Well, good evening. As Mark indicated, I'm the same way. I don't have a formal presentation. The proposal has not changed from what we presented to you at the last meeting. And as a reminder, we've gone through a fairly deliberative process over the past 12 to 18 months to study capital needs in the district and to develop a very detailed proposal in the areas we presented last month. The primary areas include maintenance and repairs, general maintenance and repairs, safety, security, and health, technology, middle school science labs, and then other various renovations and additions at other locations that have been identified. We had several hundred parents and community members involved in the process. We are recommending tonight that you approve the submission of a $94 million bond issue on the November ballot. What we're not asking you to do tonight is approve we don't have a formal resolution for you tonight or the ballot language. That would come back to you in probably July or probably August. And at that time we'd have a formal name for the proposition and a resolution for you to consider that night. What we're asking is you just approve us to move forward with the submission of the bond proposal. And as stated at the last meeting, it would require a 15-cent increase to the debt service tax rate, and the impact on the median homeowner would be $62 per year on their home. So any questions or discussion?
Okay. Thank you, Paul. May I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education approve the 2014-2015? Yeah, sorry. The Board of Education approved the submission of a $94 million bond issue on the November 2014 ballot. And can we also call this as a roll call vote? Motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second. We need to say the 15-cent increase part.
Does it say that somewhere in the motion?
Well, maybe I'm looking at the wrong.
The motion's up top.
Nope.
Okay.
Mrs. Applebaum?
Yes.
Mr. Applebaum?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacob?
Yes.
Mrs. Mogerman?
Yes.
Dr. Ciortino?
Yes.
Mrs. Feldman?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Thanks
Thank you.
and good luck.
Now the real work begins for
Well,
the citizens of Parkway.
Right, and I'd like to extend to you, Paul, on behalf of the Board of Education, any help that you require from us. You do a fantastic job of communicating the district's needs to the community, but any help that we can give you, I'm sure we're all happy to pitch in and do our part, especially Dee.
Hey.
Sorry. 12.0 policy review. Are there any questions regarding the policies? Okay, these policies will be up for approval at the June 11th board meeting. 13.0, this is the good stuff. 13.01, program evaluation, health and PE. Ron Ramspot, Health Outdoor Schools Safe and Drug-Free Program Coordinator. Come on down.
Where'd those little kids go? If I could put a couple up here. Nobody would mind how long I stood up here because they just get to look at those smiling faces. Good evening, President Feldman, Vice President Jacob, members of the board, Dr. Marty, Ms. Stover. Last September, Dr. Nathan Tyson and I stood before you with a preliminary presentation outlining the process for the Health and Physical Education Program Evaluation. With this program evaluation, our goal was to better understand how well Parkway Health and PE courses are meeting district mission and the needs of our students. Tonight, I am here to share with you the results of this evaluation, ironically, on the last day of National Physical Education and Sport Week. Always celebrated May 1st through 7th. Tonight's presentation will encompass various findings identified in the evaluation process and present it to you in the detailed report. It will provide evidence of current realities, stakeholder perspectives, student achievement, and the latest research. Our big question tonight is, where are we on the road to health and physical literacy? Two terms I presented to you last September. Dr. Tyson and I shared with you also last September 7 main topics and 25 guiding questions that help guide our study. It has often been suggested that it takes a village to raise a child. In the education world, it takes an entire school community to educate a child. Certainly all the different sectors in the education system have important roles and unique contributions in our schools. But we all have one common goal: the academic achievement and lifelong success of our student clientele. This is me, red hair. There is no doubt that we are living in a world that needs an entirely different skill set. The demands of the 21st century and the ever-changing world require a whole child approach that is founded with good student health. Parkway's mission is now ingrained in us all. Our entire district is focused upon developing capable, curious, and confident learners who understand and respond to the challenges of an ever-changing world. In the health and PE discipline, it entails developing students who feel capable of making good health decisions and skilled at applying them. Students who feel curious to know more about good health behaviors and what challenges they might face. Students who feel confident about themselves as the result of a healthy, active lifestyle, as well as a positive mindset for health and wellness. And students who are responsive to the health needs and the health needs of others. Results from the program evaluation suggest favorable results from students regarding their opinion that health and PE courses support them in being capable, curious, and confident. Most favorably were students' feelings about health and PE supporting the district goals 1 and 3, the development of capable and confident students. This feeling was echoed by health and PE teachers and school administrators, but less so by parents. This data would suggest that there is some evidence based upon stakeholder perspectives that health and PE plays an important role in accomplishing our district mission. We know that the transferring of knowledge and skills is the piece of the learning that is ultimately the most important academic outcome. And that is why I feel the word respond is most important to moving our mission to action. In order for our students to be successful in the academic world, their social world, and their world beyond Parkway, we need students who are able to respond healthfully to bullying situations and violent behaviors, to negative peer pressure that leads to risk-taking and unnecessary injuries, to emergencies so as to help a person in need, to media influences that sway opinion and the norms of our society, to stressful situations and its health implications, and to respond healthfully to sedentary lifestyles that are having severe long-term impacts on our economic, society, and healthcare systems, as well as short-term effects on academic performance. The Health and PE motto, healthy, active students ready to learn, work, and play helps to capture our focus on the readiness to respond. It signifies that good health and fitness is important to learning readiness, college readiness, career readiness, military readiness, and life readiness. Physical and health literacy are the vehicles to developing the competence, confidence, and capacity that students need to apply health-enhancing behaviors. If knowledge is power, literacy is empowerment. There we go. In order to enhance our ability to empower students, all of our students need to be exposed to all of our national PE and health education standards. Students need to develop the competence and confidence to move in a variety of physical activities in multiple environments, which is the foundation for physical literacy. And they need to have the health knowledge and skills that develop their capacity to take appropriate actions that enhance health and prevent injury or illness, which we refer to as health literacy. In order to determine how effective health and PE courses are at developing physical and health literacy, we analyzed our curriculum using several curriculum analysis tools, including the HECAT and PCAT, developed by the Centers for Disease Control. In the audit of the PE portion of the Parkway curriculum, results indicated that while the content of the curriculum aligns with each of the 6 standards and defines the essential learnings in Stage 1 that should be covered in each course, recommendations for specific lessons were lacking, resulting in a lower overall score. In a self-audit of the health education portion of the curriculum, less than 50% of the knowledge and skill expectations were met in nearly all grade levels. The areas that scored lowest were Standard 6, goal setting, and Standard 8, advocacy skills. The health curriculum was further audited using the new comprehensive national sexuality education standards. In Parkway, age-appropriate sexuality education topics are incorporated at each school level. The graph here displays the percentage of standards that are addressed at each grade cluster. Our health curriculum, and specifically the sexuality education unit, falls somewhat short of addressing all of the new standards. But this unit will be an area of focus this summer as we redevelop the sexual health curriculum as part of our annual audit and updating of health and physical education units. I can't remember who asked the character ed question. But another finding of the curriculum audit was the discovery of the degree to which health and PE courses support character ed standards. Sam, I think it was you. The elementary and middle school health and PE courses, as well as the high school health and wellness course, cover all 3 Parkway character ed competency areas, as well as 21 to 49% of the performance descriptors. This first-time audit using the new character education standards demonstrates the natural platform that exists in health and PE for teaching social competencies to our students. In other findings about our curriculum, stakeholder survey items about the curriculum also revealed mixed feelings about course rigor and relevance. While 74 to 77% of students reported that the information learned in health was important to them, only 49 to 69% felt course content was interesting, and only 50 to 60% felt challenged by the curriculum. Also, student surveys suggest that there are more gender inequities than ethnic inequities, with females more favorable about health education experiences and males more favorable about physical education experiences, more so in high school than in elementary and middle school. Lastly, health and PE teachers are favorable about the online curriculum. With the development of the online curriculum guide over the past 6 and 7 years, health and PE has a guaranteed curriculum identified. From a teacher's perspective, a large majority of the health and PE teachers felt the curriculum is well written, sequential, and includes appropriate learning goals, and with that, instructional strategies. A large majority also find it useful to their daily planning. In our endeavors to assess the extent to which health and PE courses provide a learning environment that truly supports student learning, through the surveys we examine student learning experiences, instructional space, and the learning culture. With regards to instruction and assessment, we examine practices that enhance the learning process by promoting high student engagement, higher order thinking, and student responsibility and autonomy. All of these play an important role in the intrinsic motivation levels of students. The key findings from these surveys show more favorable perceptions about increased opportunities to learn and practice at the elementary level versus middle school and high school. With regards to differentiated instruction, perceptions about modified learning experiences that match their learning readiness and interests is generally positive, but higher in elementary and high school. Students' feelings about self-monitoring their performance and developing personal health and fitness goals show favorable trends at each level, but most favorable in high school. Pedometers and heart rate monitors have been technology staples in Parkway PE classes for the past 10 to 15 years. However, there are mixed responses from students and teachers regarding their popularity, use, and effectiveness. A more in-depth study is needed to determine what technologies are now best for self-regulating activity levels. I'm talking physical activity. Smartboards and Centio systems are used on occasion, but students seem to prefer non-technical methods, such as hands-on games and collaborative learning activities for engaging them in health content. New technologies such as personal mobile devices and apps are just beginning to be explored, which might attribute to the low frequency of use identified on the student survey. The learning culture is another factor in student learning. We assess the learning culture by surveying the student opinions regarding a safe and caring learning environment. The data from student and adult surveys suggests that health and PE teachers provide a safe and supportive learning environment to most students. They encourage their students to do their best, was most popular. Oh, I forgot to click there. And you're not playing with your helicopters yet. That's good news. Other findings about the learning culture include students feeling generally positive about opportunities to be creative and trying new things. Students seeing lack of athletic ability or fear of not being good as one of the top barriers to participation in physical education. While a relatively low percentage of students feel this way about the lack of athletic ability, it is still ranked third on the list of barriers, confirming the importance of developing movement and physical skills in a way that promotes successful experiences. Appropriate instructional space is imperative to implementing many of the recommended instructional practices. Survey responses showed a disparity in opinions regarding instructional space for physical education and health. Certainly, our students and teachers benefit from the new artificial turf fields, which have been awesome, at our high schools, cardio centers at our middle and high schools, and new or newly refurbished gym floors, thanks to the facilities team. However, some teachers had commented that indoor instructional space is not adequate to safely or adequately engage all students. In addition, many of our gymnasiums don't have the ability to subdivide the space, which limits small group activity possibilities, or the ability to adapt the gymnasium to a suitable learning environment for both health and physical education. A common concern identified on the surveys was the poor conditions of the outdoor instructional spaces at some of our middle schools, which have an increased need for instructional spaces ever since the implementation of the daily PE program. Student and teacher survey responses also indicated an unfavorable opinion about locker rooms. This was the #1 response by students asked to provide their thoughts about how to enhance our PE program. So we must have been doing pretty good with everything else. While not necessarily in an instructional space, middle school locker rooms and high school locker rooms are in need of an upgrade. 1/4 of our middle school students indicated that they do not dress out because of the conditions of the locker rooms, and another 1/4 of the students do not dress out because they feel there is no privacy. Functional locker rooms can encourage students to dress more appropriately, whereby increasing engagement levels in PE activities. It should be noted that the results of this survey presented here tonight are after much of the work of Facilities 2020 and was not available to be considered in recent school and district facility improvement plans, but hopefully can be part of future conversations. We are gathering more data than ever before in health and PE to determine the impact of health and physical education courses on student achievement outcomes with regards to health content, skills, and physical fitness. We currently have 2 district common assessments, the Health and PE District Benchmark Assessment, we refer to as the DBA, and the Physical Fitness Assessment. Since we instituted the DBA at each school level, scores on these assessments have shown some growth, but still below the 75th percentile proficiency level, with exception of 10th grade health, which exceeded the proficiency level both years. It should be noted, however, that at the elementary level, 100% of the schools improved in their overall average from the first year to the second year of the assessment, despite a more rigorous assessment. The physical fitness assessment entails measurements of health-related fitness, including cardiorespiratory and muscle fitness. Scores on the 4 health-related fitness areas assessed have shown steady growth since our last program evaluation 7 years ago. In looking at a few sample grade levels from each school level, you will see gradual improvement in all areas of health-related fitness, including cardiorespiratory fitness, which research identifies as the most positive correlation of fitness to academic achievement and indicator of good health. 5th grade girls' results showed significant increase in all areas since 2007. So you can see the lines going up. 5th grade boys showed the same trends. Middle school students are showing some of the most significant gains in fitness scores. 7th grade girls have improved 9 to 19%, with core body endurance seeing the most gains in the past 4 years. And 7th grade boys' fitness scores have increased 6 to 18%. In high school, 9th grade girls have shown modest to significant improvement in all areas of health-related fitness. And 9th grade boys have also shown growth in all areas with the exception of cardiorespiratory fitness. I know these slides were up here quick, but the data is also provided in your detailed report. 4 years ago, we began looking at fitness scores a bit differently. As more and more research showed correlations between fitness levels and student achievement on standardized tests, Parkway began analyzing correlations between the number of fitness tests a student passed and scores on standardized tests such as the MAP and at that time the SAT-7. Shown on this slide is a 4-year comparison of the percentage of students who passed 3 of 4 or 4 of 4 of the fitness assessments. Since measuring this, we have seen improvements at each grade level. Most significantly, once again, in middle school, where scores have improved 10 to 18% in 4 years. This graph here shows the positive linear correlation between fitness proficiency levels and MAP scale scores for communication arts and math. As you see, the more fitness tests that are passed, the higher score on both English language arts and math. These correlations are similar for all of the other grade levels, including pass scores on the SAT-7. More importantly than anything is students' perception of physical education and health education and how it influences their personal health behaviors. Student opinions here, these are favorable results about the impact of our programs on the adoption of these behaviors. There is much research that can help guide us in improving health knowledge, skills, and behaviors that help lead to health and physical literacy. The overall good health of our students plays a significant role in the learning process. Increasing A number of studies have shown that healthy and fit students have increased self-efficacy, increased attendance and enhanced memory, increased self-esteem, better attendance, and fewer suspensions. In addition, much recent brain research has linked aerobic fitness to brain structure and function. While we see greater purpose of physical activity in our schools, we are seeing decreased levels of physical activity in our students. Our final main topic that we explored is advocacy and support for health and PE. In Parkway, we know it takes more than good teachers to best educate our students. A whole child approach dictates whole community support. Parents are integral in this process. While 89% of parents feel the health and PE program is a valuable part of the child's education, most parents feel they receive inadequate information about health and physical education course content and feedback about student progress. While parent support for health and physical education programs in Parkway appeared very favorable, only 60 to 69% are satisfied with the amount of time for physical education, and 49 to 68% satisfied with the amount of health education. 57% are satisfied with the amount of physical activity provided for their child during the school day. The outcomes of a quality health and physical education program play a major role in the development of the whole child and the academic achievement of our students. In addition, health and PE plays a vital role in many of society's health issues and epidemics. While we have continued to grow in our efforts, the healthy, active students ready to work, learn, and play motto might need a few more words and care to really give us an idea of what truly we're all about. Because character education is embedded in our curriculum already. Oh, there we go again. Are you dizzy? Our goal in the coming years is to enhance the health and physical education curriculum to develop physically literate and health literate individuals who just aren't educated about healthy lifestyles, but instead are empowered to apply them in health-enhancing ways to their own personal lives. In synthesizing the results of the program evaluation, 5 themes surfaced which served as underpinnings to the recommendations for enhanced effectiveness. Developing student self-efficacy, increasing student engagement, promoting social emotional development, supporting student autonomy, and developing higher order thinking skills. The recommendations identified in your report and summarized on this slide are founded upon these 5 underpinnings, which will anchor our work in the coming years. These recommendations will serve to provide, what happened there? Something out of order. To provide a better experience for all students and address areas where we fall short in supporting the health and fitness development of students. In the months that follow, the Parkway Health and Physical Education Department will take part in follow-up conversations about the results of this program evaluation. Next school year, you will receive a consent item to approve the new health and PE curriculum framework. In addition, you will receive detailed action steps of how we will address these recommendations. I think that was 76 slides if you were counting, Mr. Jacob. 74, okay.
Every time I go up to a new one, it gives you the number. So we're on 74, yeah.
So, questions?
A lot of data, 85 pages in one report, and a lot of good stuff there. Sometimes we ask, well, I noticed in there that there's been a slight decline on males that take PE courses, and maybe not significant, but a bigger drop with our young ladies. And we often ask the question, is there anything coming down from the state that would allow us to, I mean, some of these people are involved in some pretty strenuous sports that don't get credit as PE. Mm-hmm. Are you hearing anything that would indicate that they might be able to
Legislation is introduced every year, and at this point, it's been turned away every year. I think we have to be careful, and we have to distinguish between physical education and physical activity.
Correct.
Certainly, physical education is closely tied to education goals and personal development, and whereby sports may not be as much. Certainly, sports is a great avenue for physical activity and getting kids physically active. Myself still love sports. Try to do as much as I can, but my body doesn't hold out. But if you think of most of our clientele, most of those students will stop doing team sports when they enter high school, and fewer will continue doing team sports into adulthood. So physical education is important for developing those lifelong health skills for all students. We don't care how skilled you are or you aren't. We take you from wherever you're at, and we differentiate the instruction so you're successful. Sports doesn't necessarily do that. I'm a big advocate for sports, but I think that it does meet the physical activity needs of our kids, but not necessarily the physical education needs of our kids.
So how much time is given to physical education in the elementary schools? Do we have schools that have daily PE? Does that vary from school to school?
The amount of physical education and health, we did merge the two disciplines together with our last program evaluation. So I sometimes forget to make sure I add the health education in there as well. So health and physical education is every other day at the elementary school for 50 minutes. There are some schools that stray from that formula. I think there's a school that has one day for 60 minutes, and then they have 2 days at 30 minutes each. But for the most part, it averages out to somewhere around 250 minutes every 2 weeks, 5 classes. One of those classes identified as a health education class.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you see a need to continue to encourage daily PE?
I would encourage making sure that our kids are active daily. I think a lot of moving to daily physical education would depend on the minutes we would have each day. I think some of our teachers feel that they are able to accomplish more at the elementary level when they have a longer time period with the kids. Maybe not so much with the kindergarten, first, and second graders. Sometimes 50 minutes gets a little too long for them. But with the older kids, they appreciate that longer segment, especially if they're doing a sports unit and they're doing some lead-up activities, and the kids always want to get to a game, right? So you don't want to leave them going back to the classrooms upset they didn't play a game. However, our parents, that was the number one response to an open-ended question about how do we enhance our PE programs at the elementary level, was daily physical education.
Is there adequate facilities for health education? In other words, when teachers are teaching health, do they have classrooms to teach health in, or is it in the gym or other spaces?
It depends on each school and the available space that they might have. At Belle Reve and Ross, they have designated health education rooms, and they can attest that they have the best health education programs at the elementary level. And it'd be hard to argue against that, because the kids come in with a different mindset. When they come into the gymnasium and they know they're not going to be running around as much, it's kind of a little disappointing for them. However, we do encourage those that do have health education in the gymnasium to just do more lively, moving around, kinesthetic type activities. It does lend itself to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Of the health and physical education, I think is really interesting, and it kind of like bridges that gap between thinking of gym class, just gym class, and actually, getting the curriculum out there for the kids. Now, have you found that that some of the teachers, with the professional learning communities and that there's a little bit more interaction with the teachers as far as the curriculum goes?
We had great interaction this morning at Belle Reve. We had a North Area Elementary team that had developed SMART goals, and it was around our DBA. They took one of the strands, the physical activity strand, and they developed SMART goals to improve their students' performance on that strand 5 to 10%. They improved 13%. But they worked really hard. The conversations were really enlightening because you could tell it was all centered around that goal and strategies for how they can help kids not just learn the responses, but to internalize it, to own it, to apply it, and transfer it to their life. So that was really cool. I think the PLCs have really helped us, and I'm thankful that, you know, when you think of PLCs, the main thing about PLCs, besides all the other stuff, is to be working with people in the same content or discipline area. And that doesn't happen at many other school districts. And so when we talk to other school districts about their PLC experiences, they do not compare. I mean, they're not as favorable as ours. Tom, did I answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jacob?
Our PE teachers feel in teaching health?
It ranges. Certainly when we merged the health and physical education disciplines together, some people were PE teachers their entire life and never had to teach health education. So it took them a while to develop a competency with certainly some and then all units that we teach. We have 6 different units in health education, 6 different units for physical education. So 12 units are what are taught in our curriculum at the elementary and middle school level. So that has changed gradually as we are able to provide development for them. They get more comfortable, and certainly a lot of them are just self-starters and self-learners and will seek it out on their own. But I have done a survey every year that will ask them about their competency in different areas. That way I can kind of gear my professional development in areas where, you know, they're not as strong. Obviously the areas that they feel stronger about are PE units and less so with the health education, but things like nutrition, safety, disease prevention, those things rank pretty high. The ones that don't are sexuality education, mental emotional health. But that ranges. I mean, some of our middle school teachers, that is a strength of theirs, and they love teaching those units.
I told my little guy we were going to have that talk, and he said, "What would you like to know?"
Well, it's good he's taking the initiative on that.
He must have learned a lot at Parkway.
I'm sure it was all appropriate.
Yes, it was.
In terms of sexuality education, is there a consistent program throughout the district, and where does it take place more specifically in terms of the program itself?
As far as like a location place?
No, I'm talking about the place in the
curriculum?
Middle school primarily.
Mm-hmm. So
is it so well defined that it's consistent? So if I'm teaching it appropriately, and I'm teaching it consistently with other teachers who teach the program as well, because there's so much sensitivity involved there, and unless it's done very, very well, it becomes a problem.
So when we look at our curriculum, and through the years of developing it, the first step was developing stage 1 and those essential learnings. And those have been developed. And your job as a teacher is to guarantee that those essential learnings are taught and learned. Stage 2, the assessment piece, is to the teachers, it's their decision to make a decision how they assess those essential learnings. And then stage 3 is the teacher's choice on how they end up teaching it. However, with that being said, there is more direction in the sexuality education unit because there are laws that we have to be aware of, that we have to comply with.
Right.
There are best practices for how we appropriately teach this area. So that's more identified. So stage 3 with our sexuality education, or at the elementary level, we call it growth and development, is more defined than if you look at other stage 3 the stage 3 of our different units. And that's just because of just time and resources to be able to get to stage 3, but we made sure in those areas that are more sensitive and need more direction that those are developed. Yeah. And teachers are required to have been offered sexuality education every year according to Missouri law.
So do you feel teachers are well trained to teach in those areas, in that area, overall?
Some are better than others. I think this is an area, though, that we are going to give good attention to as we do we just completed a focus area, a focus study of this particular unit, as well as the mental emotional health unit. And the next step is to bring in students and parents and community members, professionals in the medical field to make sure that we give this unit a good look and make sure that we are respectful of all cultures, religions, and at the same time meet the interests of our students.
Great. Thank you.
You're doing that this summer, right?
We're doing that this summer.
Yeah.
Very much, Ron.
Is that it? Can I say a few thank yous?
Sure. Go ahead.
Dr. Nathan Tyson, where are you? This guy and Carol Tice were awesome. You saw all the data that was presented. Just imagine who's dealing with it, putting it all into nice little graphs and reports for me. So thank you, Nathan, for that. Desi, are you here? Desi? Oh, there you are. Desi. Kirchhoffer, Dr. Meredith, for your guidance along the way. Has been extremely helpful. We started this process way back in August, and they were always there to be able to steer me in the right direction. And finally, the health and PE teachers that are here tonight. A lot of these teachers are my right and left-hand people, and they've been involved in every aspect of curriculum development, professional development, and so they are awesome teachers. I've got a great staff. Thank you.
We talked earlier about the weekend or about activities recently, and we left not to talk about
I knew
a
you
big
were going
event.
to wait for me to get up.
But Ron and his staff ought to be, so they put on the Let's Move event each year, and this year was at Schrader Park on Sunday. Great weather, great location, great participation by the staff. Certainly, I know you had a number of folks there. I recognize many of them that were there. So I just want to point that out, that's a major activity. It really does, it really symbolizes, I think, the efforts that Ron talked about tonight of building community around health and physical activity. It's really a wonderful activity where parents can get involved with their children.
And if I could add, 7 years ago or 10 years ago when I came to the district, I really challenged our teachers to go beyond the walls of the gymnasium in what their job entailed. And many of them also serve as school wellness leaders in many capacities and do a lot of community events on their own in addition to the Let's Move in Parkway. Thank you.
Great. We're going to transition now to Goal 6, the finance and resource allocation. Mark, is this the fifth time tonight? You should have just taken a seat real close by. Although you're getting some good exercise this way, aren't you? Not yet. Never, never, never. We have, I mean, we have it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it. That's not the one I got.
No. Is that the one you want us to have?
Basically, you're all aware, Goal 6 charges us to responsibly and efficiently allocate resources, including finances, facilities, personnel, and time. Under that goal, we have 4 measurable objectives. The first says all programs, schools, and
Mark, I think your microphone is off.
I wonder if he's.
There you go. Okay, maybe you just need to be closer.
Okay. I can do that.
Have any jokes? Any stories?
Chris.
Take Chris's microphone away. His microphone.
You got to know your limitations here.
There we go.
That's the only one here.
Yeah, well, that's not it.
I was to say, this didn't start out very well.
He took it.
Now what?
He's got it.
I'll be over here.
He just took it, honey.
He's got one, I think. Oh, okay.
He can physically do it for you.
Yeah, can you just advance those for me? Thank you. Here we go. Sorry about that. Again, Goal 6 charges us to responsibly and efficiently allocate resources, including finances, facilities, and personnel and time. And we have 4 measurable objectives. The first one says all programs, schools, and departments will maintain fiscally responsible practices to effectively accomplish mission. Number 2, all personnel, time, and facility space will be allocated responsibly and flexibly based on mission-related needs of students and the financial realities of the district. Number 3, all financial practices will be approved by an external auditor, and Parkway will annually receive the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Association of School Business Officials. And number 4 is all capital improvement projects will be completed successfully, and funding will be secured for future capital improvements. As you recall, we began implementing Goal 6 for the 11-12 school year. In the first year, the 2 major initiatives included the changing of the school day schedules. We extended the elementary school day by 20 minutes and moved middle school from the first tier to the second tier starting times. We also that year eliminated our tuition-funded full-day kindergarten program and replaced it with a free full-day kindergarten program for all. The following year, 2012-13, we adjusted North area attendance boundaries, and I've listed on the slide there, you can see what the elementary school enrollment was for each of the North area elementary schools before the adjustments, and I've also then listed what the projected enrollments are for next year, and you can see that our 2 overcrowded schools, McKelvey and Craig, both have significantly fewer kids now than they had before the adjustments, and we also see that River Bend, which was very underutilized prior to the adjustments, is now in line with the other schools. We also, through Goal 6, have spent the last 3 years talking about budget cuts. And as you recall, we eliminated over $12 million in expenses through that process, and we've balanced our revenues with expenditures for the next 5-year period. This year, we also implemented a reorganization in our food service program where we eliminated the West High School production center. And through that, we eliminated about 7 positions, which is projected to save us about $180,000. Our food service program still continues to struggle a little bit, but it's more driven by the changes in the nutritional guidelines, which is challenging all school districts to maintain their participation levels. And we were thinking ahead on that and converted our production manager position a couple of years ago to a chef production manager position, and Chef Dan is out around in the buildings trying to build up participation and make food service more interesting for our students and staff. And this year we also expanded our compostable lunch tray program from just the north area to the district-wide, and that seems to be going very well. Another area that we've made a lot of strides is in the area of energy efficiencies. We now have the largest aggregate solar panel installation in the state. The solar panels are currently on 30 of our buildings, and we're finalizing the final 3 installations. One of them will be a ground mount installation at North High School, and then we still have to finalize 2 more roof mounts, one at Shenandoah and one at Sorrento. Through HVAC system adjustments and behavior changes, we've also reduced our energy consumption by 20% under the actual baseline year, 2000. And we were recognized by the EPA for those improvements. We did that through retro commissioning projects at North and South High School. We've been converting T12 light bulbs to T8. We're replacing 32-watt bulbs with 25-watt bulbs. We're implementing a low-flow faucet conversion throughout the district. And we're now planning a pilot to introduce LED lighting in the exterior areas that I think on the central campus. So we're moving forward with that. And everyone's well familiar with the compressed natural gas project that we just implemented. Other efficiencies we've been working on include expanding online instructional opportunities, our campus technology access program, and the Parkway Rockwood Community Education Partnership. Moving on to measurable objective 3, we have been successful in maintaining our AAA bond rating, even through all of the budget cuts and the very difficult economic time that we've been through. We continue to receive clean or unqualified audit opinions annually from our external auditors. And as we mentioned earlier, we have now received 12 consecutive certificates of excellence in financial reporting awards from ASBO. And then on measurable objective 4, which is capital improvements planning, we did finalize our 2008 bond issue expenditures this last fall. And this year we expanded the Facilities 2020 process to the full Project Parkway group. We created a preliminary bond issue list, and you all actually approved placing a bond issue on the ballot for this next November. So moving forward, we are going to have a new CFO, a new Director of Human Resources, and a new Director of Finance. And I feel very confident that they're all going to come in ready to run, and I think they're going to be in very good position to move forward. But we do have to acknowledge that Goal 6 is really a lot of budget, staffing, personnel type things, and I think we are going to have to make sure that they do have some time to learn Parkway as we move forward in working with this goal. We also, it's very important that we pass the initiative on the November bond issue. We're Also, we're going to continue implementing the Parkway Rockwood partnership, community ed partnership. We need to continue support for our district wellness initiatives. We need ongoing enhancements to our district technology infrastructure and instructional support. And next meeting, actually, we're going to be presenting a proposal regarding our proposed intellectual property management / sports marketing program. And I think this fits very well in with Goal 6. We're going to need to find financial support for recommendations coming out of the early childhood, the experiential learning, the alternative high school, and extended year studies and overall Project Parkway goals. And then finally, we're going to need to continue efforts to restore fund balances to the board policy requirements. And we're going to need to do that through efficiencies and effectiveness activities. So basically, that's where we've been and some of the things that we're going to be looking at for next year through Goal 6. And I guess at this point, we're ready for any questions you may have.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Is there an area we're missing? Something you see we haven't addressed yet? Something you've thought, well, put that on the future list?
I think there are a lot of things that we've talked about that are going to be long discussions, I think, that probably will come forward in the next few years. But, I mean, I think I'm very pleased with the things that we have tackled and accomplished in the last couple of years. And I believe we're going to have our hands full the next year with the bond issue and all of the things that are moving forward. Personally, I'm not sure I'm the best one to say if there's something we've missed, but I feel like we've done a lot, and I think there's still a lot more to do.
Because we're not going to be able to ask you, in like 3 months. So
No, I think there's plenty of people around here that have lots of good ideas, and I do believe we have done a lot. I mean, it's been amazing to me what this school district has done in recent years, especially on Goal 6. Yeah. And I shouldn't say especially because we've been doing it on every other area as well, but we've accomplished a lot.
Big strides, yes.
And if we can gain the voter support for the bond issue, that'll really put us in a position to continue to move forward.
Thanks.
I would like to say that the people who architected Goal or Project Parkway as a whole, and particularly ensured Goal 6, were very wise, because I don't think at the time they conceived reduction. I think they perceived management, but I think it served us very well, as Mark said. Some of the discussions and issues we had to deal with. So I mean, I think it was really wise to have a really strong emphasis on efficiency and effectiveness, which really allowed us then to use Project Parkway in the work we had to do the last couple of years.
We worked on that for a long time to get it down to what we wanted.
We may want to make sure that your new CFO understands how to use the presentation.
We'll write that.
You're no worse than the board president.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Mark. Okay. .0 work session, there is none. 15.0 call for special meetings, none. 16.0 call for executive session on June 11th, 2014. We're going to wait and call that on June 11th at our 6 o'clock, when we convene at 6 o'clock, right? That's our new way of doing it. So I know you all were looking forward to me reading these paragraphs. Just going to have to wait till June. 17.0 recess. We are done with our closed meeting. So 19.0 may have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you all for attending, and we'll see you next month.